Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me today. So today I'm going to be exploring Claude's Sonnet 3.7 version to help analyze some of the qualitative data that I collected in my workshops, but also how do I create some of the visuals from some of the conversations that I've had with my partnerships. So if you're interested in having a look at how I analyze qualitative data and create some graphics based on some of the co-constructed agreements, then please keep on watching. So here I've just spent a few minutes doing this to save us some time. So here I'm on Claude 3.7 Sonnet on Poe. I have a subscription and I was working with a lovely school where we looked at creating common agreements and discussing what our community values are and what we valued. And we put them on posters on pieces of paper. So you can see here, first of all, I just wanted to digitize the posters that were handwritten. I think it's important that we're not always stuck to a screen when we're trying to collaborate and discuss important ideas, and that we can brainstorm on posters first, but then take a photo of those posters. And then here I've just uploaded and I said, can you digitize the following into separate beautiful images as lovely posters? And so here Claude 3.7 Sonnet has created some code, and then here let me just show you what that looked like. So this is HTML, this is the version number 4. Let me just go through and show you. So let me just go here and just show you that that was the first one. So that's HTML1. So here are all the posters here: risk-taking, caring, community, safety, responsibility, participation, honesty, and collaboration. So that was the first thing, and I wanted them to be separated. And then I thought, well, can you improve on the design of these, so that they look like posters with the border, and then you can digitize the green writing. Can you make it look more like handwriting? So then let's go to over here, the version number 2. So you can see, so that was the next version. Okay, so I thought, yes, I could probably, print these out and use this. And it says open as downloadable poster. And then version 3 was, and of course, Claude 3.7 told me the improvements that they made, so you can see. Now I said, okay, instead of having all of these separate posters, can you put them all this information on one poster so that it's visually pleasing? So then it wrote some beautiful code for me, and let's go to version number 3 so you can actually see what version 3 was. So here we go. I'm just going to make myself a bit smaller so I'm not in the way, but you can see these are the community values that the educators that I was collaborating with valued, and that was quite nice. But then what did I decide? I said, okay, can you make the border dark blue? That was the only change, and then it wrote some code to do that. And then let's go to number 4. So the version number 4 was this. Okay, so that was the final poster. And then I thought, well, there are so many other tools that I could use that I can actually edit the image. This image is not editable, but I can keep iterating and changing colors and the design. So I said, okay, with the actual original images that I uploaded, can you just digitize all of the words here in one go so that I can copy and paste them? So here it is. I did cross-check this because you know that large language models still tend to, we say, create a mirage or confabulate. And so I did cross-check all of this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. So let's just copy all of this information. And then I'm going to go to Napkin AI, which is a free tool. So give me a second. So here I am on one of my favorite tools. Let me just copy and paste. Okay, let's just hit copy and paste that message that I had. So let's get rid of the instructions here. Yep, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of this first of all. So let me just try and grab my mouse. I've switched hands on my mouse recently, so I'm not as dexterous as I normally am. And then hit the lightning bolt. And then we can actually create not just an image, but we can convert this to a PowerPoint so that we can actually edit. And we can actually edit this as it is on Napkin. But now I've got all of these wonderful, let me just scroll down so you can see. Now I've got all these wonderful co-constructed common agreements from the school that's actually tailored to the school and the discussions that we had. So we talked about honesty, risk taking. Now there's a new function on napkin here which I absolutely love. So press, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, it says detail level. Well, I'm going to say detailed, and I'm going to say stay closer to my text. And you can actually specify the visual, but I'm not going to specify the visual. And now this means that I'm going to stay closer to the text so that there's going to be less confabulation. And then I don't have to copy and paste so much work. So if I go down, oh, I don't want the dollar sign, but look, this is quite nice. Here, look at look at the details here. I kind of like this. This is quite nice too. Or here in a chart like this. So all of these are absolutely wonderful. Let me try and settle on one, so that let's press more. And then let me try and settle on one so that you can then see how we can export this. So let's settle on this one. Okay, so I'm going to settle on this one. Of course, you can change all the colors if you want. And then if you go to this little arrow here, export, you can export it as any kind of PNG, SVG, PDF, and a PPT. And I always do the PowerPoint because then I can use my animations. Oops, let me go back. I can use my animations and I don't have to show this graphic just in one go, but I can actually then drip feed it and discuss each of these ones. So what a great way to distill the important conversations. We don't want to lose the important conversations when we're co-creating any kind of common agreements. And I think using Claude 3.7 Sonnet first to digitize things, or to create an image if you want, or just digitize it first and then move across to napkin. Okay, so that was just me really briefly talking about how I really capture important discussions with different teams and faculties that I partner and collaborate with. I hope that you found this video useful. Please feel free to put a comment in the section below, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.